Donald Trump has always been and will always be a fragile, insecure, and overly sensitive individual. This is exactly why he constantly tries to project an image of strength, acting like he's a tough, fearless leader. But the truth is the complete opposite, and time again, he proves it. And now, once again, he has exposed his weakness, this time by effectively admitting defeat in the trade war he started. His aggressive stance against our northern neighbors seems to be collapsing, and his latest post is clear proof of just how quickly he backs down when faced with reality. We're going to break it all down, but before we dive in, if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot and really help us out. Now, before we examine Trump's post and what it reveals about his surrender, let's rewind a few days to see how he was trying to act tough before it all fell apart.
Nobody knows that Canada's charging our dairy farmers. They have 270% tariffs. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. They have up to 400%. They have a couple of tariffs at 400%. Nobody knows that. Nobody talks about that. And remember, with Canada, we don't need their cars, we don't need their lumber, we don't need their energy, we don't need anything from Canada, and yet it costs us $200 billion a year in subsidy to keep Canada afloat. So when I say they should be a state, I mean that. I really mean that, because we can't be expected to carry a country that is right next to us on our border. It would be a great state. It would be a cherished state. The taxes for Canadian citizens would go down in less than half. They don't spend money on military because they think we're going to protect them. There are many things that they do, like icebreakers. They want us to provide icebreakers for them. Oh, that's wonderful. So the Canada, they're very tough traders too. I want to just tell you, of all the people, they're tough traders. They trade very tough. And, you know, the expression I use is, some people don't have the cards. I used that expression about a week and a half ago, right?
That was Donald Trump just a couple of days ago, and I want you to keep that in mind as we go through the rest of this video. He was adamant, claiming that Canada would become the 51st state and that he would crush them economically. This has been his so-called strategy all along, something that even leaked during a phone call with Justin Trudeau a few months ago. Trump has always tried to flex his so-called strength, boasting about military power and acting tough while sitting in his chair, complete with his infamous Diet Coke button. But the reality is, this trade war is widely unpopular across the political spectrum. Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike have voiced their disapproval. And to make matters worse for Trump, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney stood firm, making it clear that he wasn't backing down. Things only spiraled further for Trump, and here's what happened next.
Over the coming weeks, months, and years, we must fundamentally reimagine our economy. We will need to ensure that Canada can succeed in a drastically different world. The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We have power. We are masters in our own home. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can control our destiny. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away. We can deal with this crisis best by building our strength right here at home. It will take hard work. It will take steady and focused determination from governments, from businesses, from labor, from Canadians. We will need to dramatically reduce our reliance on the United States. We will need to pivot our trade relationships elsewhere. And we will need to do things previously thought impossible at speeds we haven't seen in generations. But we can make ourselves more productive and therefore more competitive. We can break down internal trade barriers. We can build a stronger and more resilient economy. And that's what I'm squarely focused on as your Prime Minister.
Now that is what real strength looks like. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney showing true leadership. He's focused, resolute, and fully aware that the road ahead won't be easy. But unlike Trump, he has a clear strategy to counter this economic attack from an ally. That's the kind of leadership that intimidates Trump. Trump thought he could bully Canada into submission, but he failed. And that failure is exactly why we're now seeing him quietly admit defeat. Take a look at this post he just made. I just finished speaking with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney. It was an extremely productive call. We agree on many things, and we will be meeting immediately after Canada's upcoming election to work on elements of politics, business, and all other factors that will end up being great for both the United States of America and Canada. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, let's break this down with a little Trump translation. Pay attention to the wording. He refers to Prime Minister Mark Carney twice. Just weeks ago, Canada's leaders were nothing more than governors to him. He dismissed them as if they were just US state officials. So what happened, Donald? Did you suddenly change your mind? Are they not about to become the 51st state? Did Mark Carney's unwavering stance make you back down? Because it sure looks like you just folded under pressure. His response had more power and authority than anything you've put out, and now it seems like you're scrambling to cover your tracks. It's absolutely hilarious how quickly Donald Trump admits defeat in his own ridiculous trade war. And the worst part, even though these tariffs never took effect in any meaningful way, all Trump managed to do was crash the markets, create economic instability, and drive up prices, artificially inflating them to levels that companies have zero reason to lower. In other words, he just screwed over the American people. For nothing. Now, is this Trump's way of officially announcing that everything is fine with Canada? That the tariffs are completely off the table? That he's just moving on? Hard to say, but calling Mark Carney Prime Minister, saying he's looking forward to working together, it's pretty obvious this wasn't written by Trump himself. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Has he finally had enough? Has he been beaten into submission by his own incompetence? And the trade war isn't the only battle he's losing. Over on the Social Security front, things aren't looking great for him either. Rachel Maddow broke it all down. Take a look.
Regular Americans just pulling it together on their own to save Social Security. That woman in Grand Rapids, Michigan yesterday saying, I woke up this morning and said, I got to do something. And by afternoon, there she was. And Americans all over the country are waking up every day somewhere having that same feeling. And that political leadership from regular Americans is now starting to push over the right dominoes. We are starting to see, for example, stirrings from big, powerful groups that at least used to have a lot of sway on issues like this, groups like AARP.
AARP is fighting to protect your Social Security. You've worked hard and paid into Social Security with every paycheck your entire working life. But recently, we've heard from thousands of worried Americans. That's why we're asking for 3 assurances right now. 1, Social Security will make payments on time like it has for almost 90 years. 2, claims will be processed on time and not backlogged for months. 3, customer service will be a top priority. Getting rid of phone service and asking tens of millions of Americans to jump through new hoops or drive hours to a local office is deeply unacceptable. Join me in sending a loud and clear message to lawmakers. Social Security must be protected. Take action now at aarp.org/pledge. Tell lawmakers it's your money, you've earned it.
See her say there at the beginning. Recently, we've heard from thousands of worried Americans. Hello, AARP. I thought you would be blanketing the nation with super effective ads and hounding every member of the administration every day up to and including the president. It's kind of what I have come to expect from AARP. We are not seeing anything like that yet from AARP.
We're making progress. Some wins here and there. Sometimes they're hard to come by, and sometimes they don't even feel like victories at first. But they are wins, and that means we have to keep pushing forward. That's exactly what we do on this show every single day. If you want to support that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and if you've made it this far, leave a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, see you soon.